One former Penn State football player who has not minced words about how he's felt about the Jerry Sandusky case, the fallout as it pertained to Joe Paterno, is former Steelers great Franco Harris. The first question obviously has to be, Franco, when the sanctions came down, what was your reaction?
Oh, I thought it didn't make any sense at all. I still don't understand it. That why would they accept such sanctions, and more than that, why would the NCAA get involved in a situation that really is criminal and really does not involve the athletic department? But once again, it shows people that the mindset of our Board of Trustees and administration and how their thought processes work and their attitude. And so more and more people now understand what we're dealing with the people who decided to accept this.
Are you more upset with the sanctions or the fact that Penn State has accepted them without any opportunity to appeal?
Well, both. I think both of them are misplaced. I mean, first of all, the NCAA should not have even got involved in a case like this, and secondly, they definitely should not have accepted it. You know, we need people to fight for Penn State. The actions of our board and inaction of our board along the way also speaks loud and clear of how they really don't work to really protect Penn State.
Franco, do you have relationships with people on the board? Because one of the promises in the fallout of all of this is that there would be more transparency and the board would have more input as to how the president's office functions. And it just seems like the left hand doesn't know what the right is doing. You know, Erickson apparently worked with the chairman of the board, outside counsel, to negotiate the ultimate sanctions with the NCAA. Yet there are several members on the board who feel like they weren't in the loop enough. What's your take on how the board and the president have functioned amidst this whole situation?
Well, there is no way that Erickson can act on his own. That matter of fact, that's one of the points that they made early on about Graham Spanier, that he had too much power, and there was no way that they were going to give this president all this power to really make two huge decisions, talking about the taking down of the statue and of accepting these sanctions. So. Definitely the board was involved with this, but as you said, not the whole board. And that's where the problem lies, is that once again, there are some power brokers within the board who really kind of set the tone and make the decision. So there are other board members now that are totally upset because even though some of the power brokers on the board knew before about the Sandusky situation, all the other board members didn't. And so the other board members now are really getting sick and tired of this sort of stuff, that there's only certain people controlling this. And talk about transparency. Well, Erickson was saying, the president of Penn State was saying, oh, you know what, we're going to get input from students, from faculty, all these people about tearing down Joe's statue, even from alumni. None of that.
So you're saying Erickson, Franco, are you saying that Erickson didn't get input from students and alumni before he decided to take the statue down?
Thank you. That's what he calls transparency.
What makes you say that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, when he made that statement, and then a couple of days later, the statue's down. That's what makes me mention that. And like also, I'm an alumni. He didn't call me, which I think he wouldn't do anyway.
Former Penn State and Steelers great Franco Harris, Bonnie Bernstein on the Dan Patrick Show. Franco, on the Friday before the statue came down, you went there with Paterno's wife, Sue, and 2 of their kids. And I was wondering why you picked that day. Did the family had a feel for what was going on?
You know what? It was just by coincidence. I mean, there's always, definitely had been talk about it, but as I mentioned, I was thinking that they're going to be discussing this more. This is a very important issue, and my feeling was that no, it's not coming down right away. But what I've tried to do is, go try to see Sue once a month if I can, and try to squeeze it in. And it just so happened that I was there, and she said her grandkids and some of her kids were up there, and let's go up there and say hi and take a picture, and not knowing that less than 48 hours later it was coming down. So in a way, bad decision, and said it, that it went down, but I'm glad I was there to take some pictures with them. And listen, the whole thing that we're trying to do here is to clear the name of Joe Paterno, the football program, and the athletic department. And for people to think that they try to cover up and just blatantly let something like this continue for 10 years, they are so far mistaken. And the free report, to me, really shows that there was no cover-up, that people, the right people, so people were engaged in this, and so that's really what our goal is, to keep working, get that accomplished, and all these other things that happened, which I said, that showed the bad decision of the board of taking down the statue, the sanctions. Those are important events, but it's not going to take our eye off our goal.
You say you want to help clear Joe Paterno's name. The free report clearly states that he knew about Sandusky's activity. How can you refute the free report?
Well, when you say that the free report shows that he knew about Sandusky's activity, are you talking about 2001 or 1998?
Well, it implies that he knew about both.
And if you look at 1998, we really don't know how much he really was told. And also, you had some of the best people that were professionals in handling sexual child abuse. I mean, you had, Children Youth Services, Department of Public Welfare, you had detectives. I mean, you had all these people involved in 1998, and Penn State was really on the sideline. Penn State was not to interfere, and they didn't interfere. But it does show in the report that Schultz was getting some information, and that Curley was trying to get some information from him. And then we have to see, when due process happens, well, what did he tell Joe? Because in reality, no one's supposed to be telling anybody too much of anything because of legal issues and investigations. But all these people that were so involved in 1998 and who were so knowledgeable in how to handle this then found that there was no assault. Now, we all know there was grooming, which hardly any of us understand, but there was no assault. And I think that them finding no assault in 1998 really...
Franco, can I interrupt you for just a second? You said we all knew there was grooming. What do you mean by that?
Oh, see, that's the thing where I never knew what it was either. Grooming is where someone takes someone and do all these nice things and gives them gifts and show them love and attention in some other ways for really for some sort of final result.
So you're saying that you said we all knew that. You've seen that personally. You've spoke with other players and coaches who saw Jerry Sandusky.
No, I'm just saying I just learned about that over the last year.
Okay.
Like the word grooming. And
well, what did you see when you were around Jerry in whatever capacity? How well did you know him? Did you ever see him around kids? See anything that in hindsight would say something's going on here?
Well, I think even in hindsight, people would have problems. No, I never hung around Jerry. Sure, I knew him because the Second Mile is a great program. And I think through the years I went to one golf tournament, went to one banquet. But everybody told me that they always saw Jerry with a kid. And seeing Jerry with kids all the time in the pool, they saw him. Even some of the previous coaches and everything say, oh, no, we saw Jerry in the shower with kids, and it was nothing unusual. And so not only did he groom kids for what his ultimate goal was, but it seemed like he also groomed a community, and where everybody saw him with kids in all these situations. I have some people who knew Jerry for the last 30 years, and they would say, even before this came out, they would say, oh, yeah, Jerry always has kids. He's always mentoring, taking care of kids, and all that sort of stuff. So he had kids around him all the time. That was not unusual.
Spinning forward.
Everybody was used to that. So there were no red flags because that was Jerry all the time. I'm sorry.
Spinning forward now, the players have the opportunity to transfer and play right away. And the one name we keep hearing about possibly legitimately leaving is Silas Redd. Put yourself in his shoes. He's a junior. He was the top running back last year. What would you do?
Well, that's a tough question. Being a Penn Stater, I definitely don't want to see him leave because there's no doubt he's a great running back, and we're looking forward to him doing some great things this year under Coach Bill O'Brien. That would be tough for me to answer because I'm not in his shoes. But being an alumni, I would hate to see him leave.
Well, Franco, I know how passionate you are about this and how much you loved and supported Joe Paterno, and I know it's tough, but appreciate your viewpoint, and have a good day.